back on the show. You were a former player that was on our very first season of Inside Kennedy Football. So how does it feel to be back?
It's awesome. It's great to be back.
All right, we'll talk about last week's game, but give everyone out there, all the Eagle fans, your background. Obviously, we mentioned that you're a player, but obviously now as a coach, what's your affiliation now with the Kennedy football team?
So I graduated Kennedy. I'm a 2015 grad. I ended up getting a scholarship offer to play football at University of Minnesota Crookston. Ended up transferring and finished out my playing career in school at Concordia St. Paul. And took a year off away from football, and Coach Kedrick hit me up and said, I got a spot for you to come on the coaching staff. And so I'm the offensive coordinator for the freshman team, and I also help out with varsity offensive line.
Very good. What are some of the challenges coaching the freshman team, and what does that look like from a day-to-day process?
That's your answer. They're freshmen. It just kind of goes hand in hand. They're great guys, and they're unbelievable athletes. It's probably one of the better freshman teams we've had in a long time. But, it's just a consistency thing, and they're still learning what it's like to be a high school football player rather than growing up in BAA and all that and coming to practice and trying hard every day and realizing what you put in is what you get out. So.
All right, well, you're here to talk about the varsity game here, so let's get to it. 21-6 loss against Mound West Tonka, but I really thought your defense played outstanding all game long. It kept you guys in this game deep into the fourth quarter, and was really the reason why you guys had a chance to beat a very good team, a team that's still undefeated.
Right. The thing was, we came out a little sluggish right away, and they scored in like 3 plays or something. If we would have been able to stop that right away, our main focus is always coming up fast and taking the hit to the other team. And, we failed at that right away, and, that would have been a much closer game if we could just start fast. And, that's what we're working on as a coaching staff, getting these kids ready to come out, play right away. And, defense played great and held a good, high-powered offense. And it's really just a football IQ thing. We got the athletes, and we just got to get these guys more focused on what they can do.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights, because we've got some highlights offensively. Defense offense was a little bit banged up throughout the game too, which is a bit of a challenge. But defensively, here's a big hit by your starting quarterback, Avante Monroe.
Yep.
Just kind of patrolling the middle there, and you guys were making these types of plays all night. As you kept from this angle, you can kind of watch Avante's eyes here, and what do you think he's seeing here, Adam?
Hey, he's just kind of reading the quarterback. We know that he's playing that high safety position. He's got to be the deepest man on the field at all times. And, he can see where that quarterback's going with the balls. They usually tell right where they're going no matter what. And he just made a great play. He's a great athlete.
Well, our next clip is probably a guy that you wish you had on your team. He's a freshman. He'd be a terrific player for you. He's a terrific player for the Kennedy varsity. Talk about this freshman, Marquez Monroe. He's playing, making great plays for Kennedy.
Marquez, we expected a lot from him, and we knew coming up from 8th grade, and everybody in the coaching staff, former Coach Heisman, told us right away, he's like, man, this kid's going to be playing varsity for you right away. And he just knew that, and then Coach Kedrick knew that right away, that he could make these kind of plays every single night. And that's what he's doing for us. And I'm really excited to see his potential through his career at Kennedy.
A guy who maybe doesn't have the biggest stat line, but man, does he play hard every play. Jake Houston comes up with a big play for you guys in a key situation. Talk about this catch here as we roll this clip. Or actually, this is going to be the touchdown run after his Jake's catch, which got you guys down to this spot. Nice cutback here by Kennedy.
That's our running back, Theo Simmons. The Simmons brothers, they're just great athletes, and they're all determined to do exactly what it takes to win.
And how about this catch from Jake? Speaking of great athletes, he just takes this one away from almost 3 players right there.
Jake's one of those guys that we talk about coming in and hitting in the mouth every day and playing hard every single play, and it shows when Jake plays. He shows it in practice, and he shows up on Friday nights, and that's exactly what we look for from every single guy.
Last question for you this time. What's the challenge when you've got quarterback banged up, you're not sure if he's going to come back and go back in? I know you have a capable backup quarterback or second quarterback, but what is that challenge of kind of managing those things on the sideline?
It's kind of tough, and we're just we're the next man up attitude. And, we're Kennedy football. We roll with the punches, and we're ready to take it to anyone. And we got to have guys prepared to step up at any position. We got great athletes that can do any single position on the field, and that's what it takes. And these guys know that, too.
All right, very good. We'll see you back in the final segment. We get to preview another undefeated opponent you guys get to face in SMB in the last segment. All right, Adam?
Yes, sir.
All right. Coming up next, it's the Where Are They Now segment with Noah Brown on Inside Kennedy Football.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, and she convinced me to continue my education.
No one receives a diploma alone.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Back on Inside Kennedy Football, the Eagles travel on the road this week. They take on undefeated SMB Friday night at 7 o'clock. Where Are They Now segment, and another young man, much like we just saw from Adam Hayter, you also, Noah Brown, have been on the show before as an Eagle player. Now you're back. What is it like to be back on Inside Kennedy Football?
It's a little surreal, that's for sure. I miss seeing all the Kennedy logos, and it brings me back to my football days, which I dearly miss for sure.
Now you're still affiliated with the team. You say you do some speaking with the team. When you talk to the Kennedy football team, what are some of the messages that you give to them?
The main thing I like to tell them is that the skills that you're learning on the football field and off the football field are very applicable to the real world, and once you get out of college and actually get into your career, because I still use my leadership skills, and as well as my, you get knocked down, you want to get right back up type of mentality, as on the job site, if I mess up on a little test or something, you still have to go back to that site the next day. So you really have to just learn and pick yourself back up even after a mistake and just get back to it.
Well, let's talk about why you're qualified to speak in front of Kennedy's team, because you've accomplished a lot at a young age. And we'll get to your real career first, but I want to bring out a model here. We don't get a chance to do this very often. We've got a model, and describe what we're going to be seeing on your very good friend here, Dion Barber, so kind enough to model for us. But what is he wearing, and how are you affiliated with that?
So this is called a game day onesie. It's game day, WONSIE. So what a game day onesie is, it's just a way to maximize your team spirit. And with being a alumni at the University of Minnesota, I've been to a lot of cold tailgates, and you always have those overalls everywhere. But I really wanted to make something that was warm and that still had team spirit, like a little gap in the market. So me and my other engineering buddy during finals, we were trying to come up with $1 million ideas. We didn't have to work 60 hours a week. And this is one of them. And this is the game day one. It has Gopher colors, as you can see. It's very warm and comfortable. It even has an adjustable waist and everything. And we're starting at U because they love the idea that having some alumni there with their with the brand new business, they wanted to help us out. And then a bunch of other schools want to improve the sales. So after this football season, which is so far successful, we plan to expand pretty much to almost every university that gets relatively cold. So yeah.
Dion, does it feel good? All right. We'll look at, because you got a segment coming up. We'll let you get changed for your segment.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Yeah.
Again, Noah. If someone wants to purchase a game day onesie, where can they go do that?
So if you are a U of M student, or if you're not, you can still go to the Hoffman Bookstore, which is on the University of Minnesota Minneapolis campus, or you can just go online to GameDayOnesies.com. That's GameDayWonsies.com.
You shared with us kind of how it came about, the idea, but there's so much logistics that has to go into manufacturing a piece of clothing and selling that. So how did that whole process come about? And you've been able to sell they're on back order right now, so they've obviously been pretty successful.
Exactly. So our key component is definitely our manufacturer. He's actually my auntie-in-law's brother. So I got really lucky because there was a lot of people we went through, which they were just asking an insane amount of money, which being a college graduate, me and my business partner not have. And when we went through my auntie's brother, he pretty much just said, just order 100 and I'll get you to the price point you want, and hopefully it gets big. So we got very lucky on that standpoint.
All right, that's awesome. We're excited to see how that can grow, and I'm looking to seeing some at the Gopher games. I go to each and every one of them, so
I hope you
forward
see a lot
to
of
that.
them.
Yeah, looking forward to that. So that's just your size as being an entrepreneur. Talk about your actual career and what you're doing right now.
So my actual career is geotechnical engineering. I just graduated from the University of Minnesota last spring, and I like it a lot. Mainly right now, I was going to natural resource extraction, so petroleum or copper mining. But I decided to stay close and not be in the middle of nowhere and get a job in a municipal engineering firm, WSB. It's actually right in Burnsville. And pretty much what I do, I'm an inspector/tester, and I'm also working to be a professional engineer. So I just became an engineer after I passed my fundamentals of engineering exam, and I pretty much am to be able to get to a point where I look at a site from the soils, and then I draft up the proposal, win the proposal on the construction, draft up the plans itself, and then actually see the project through.
So you've accomplished a lot at a young age, but I want to take you back high school days at Kennedy High School. What are some of the memories that stand out, and how do you think being a member of the football team helped prepare you for your college experience and what you're to do now as a postgraduate?
So my biggest memory that stands out probably that senior year win against Richfield. I think we only won by a field goal, and that was a great memory. Other than that, just my chemistry teacher, Mr. Vu, leading to the direction of engineering, making sure I'm on the right path, and I owe a lot to him, so I have to get to him and tell him personally how much I appreciate it.
Well, hopefully he's watching when he can hear straight from
hopefully
his television set or wherever, or iPhone, whatever he's watching.
Exactly.
Well, Noah, it was great to catch up. Great to see your invention come to life. I'm glad it's off to a great start. Best of luck down the line, all right?
Thank you very much.
All right, that's former Eagle Noah Brown in the Where Are They Now segment. Time for the Players segment, next on Inside Kennedy Football.
The facts straight. Almost a quarter of car crashes involve cell phones. When you test drive, you look away at least 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, it's the length of a football field. Timeout. It's illegal in 39 states to text and drive, but you're in danger everywhere when you don't focus. So keep your eyes on the road and arrive alive. No text, no wrecks. So don't text and drive.
Inside Kennedy Football, the Eagles will play on the road this Friday against undefeated SMB. Time for the Players segment now. Antonio Torres, we've seen you for the first time. Dion Barber, welcome back. You've got your regular outfit on, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Oh, yeah, it's nice.
It is. This is my first time.
All right. You're a sophomore, Antonio, so before we get to what you're doing now on the field, walk us through kind of football journey. When did you start playing football, and when did you know that playing high football was something that could happen, that you wanted to happen?
I started being interested in football in 5th grade, and in 6th grade I finally joined with a cousin. I knew I wanted to play high school football. The first high school football game I saw at 6th grade.
Was that a Kennedy game you went to?
It was a Richfield game, actually. I
Richfield,
started in a Richfield league.
All right. Dion, how about you?
Most people, like me and my brother, we started football really late, and so like I didn't like play football until like 6th grade probably, and he didn't start until like 8th. Like 6th grade, when I saw my brother start getting really successful, maybe that could be me. So I like started working really hard, and then I just wanted to play out from there on out.
Well, let's talk about you quickly. Graduated last year, Terrell Barber, of course.
Yeah.
And you told me backstage he's playing football right now. So talk about what he's doing to start his collegiate career.
Yeah, he's at St. John's University right now, and they're right now, and so they're doing really good. He's playing running back still, so he's happy to play his football career at the next level.
That's a great place to play as well. So we're looking for some positive things from Terrell Barber as well. As we get back to you, Antonio. Football's not your only sport at Kennedy, so talk about what else you're involved with at Kennedy High School.
In 6th grade, when I started football, the coaches came out with this big speech that wrestling also helps a lot to improve. So I went to Oak Grove Middle School, and I started wrestling there at 6th grade as well.
Probably helps a guy with your size. The coaches are probably looking at you like, yeah, I think we could. This guy could help us on the wrestling team. How about you, Dion? I hear you're going to go out for wrestling as well.
Yeah, my friends, Mr. Vavrowski is he's really been getting on me. He's like, wrestling would be a great sport if you want to get better at football, and so, I really want to take my football playing career to the next level. So I feel like wrestling would be the best fit for me.
Antonio, what are some of those things that the coaches tell you that will help improve your football game? Is it the footwork, or is it what are some of the things? And especially as an offensive lineman, I have to think that some of that helps as well.
The pain is in your head. You can push on through that. You can always go harder every drive.
All right, Dion, you're part of this big Kennedy defense. Have been playing really well this year. Talk about how you guys have come together. You lost some big-name, big-time impact people from last year, but it doesn't seem to have affected your play. New guys have just stepped right in, and you guys are playing really well. Talk about that.
Our defense, coming into this year, we just wanted to pick up right where we left off. I mean, we want to even get better. We want our new people to learn the defense and get better at it. So we've been working hard in practice, and then during games we just know it's time. So,
all right, and Anthony, how about you? You guys, part of that big win against Richfield, you guys rushed for almost 400 yards in that game. So as an offensive line, how did that feel to be part of a group that was so dominant in helping you guys win?
It felt really good. Something we don't usually have. We usually do fine on the offensive line, but in Richfield we really picked it up.
Talk about yourself as a sophomore only. How have you been able to come into this team? Obviously, we have a freshman in Marquez Monroe also doing some good things, but as a youngster, how have you been able to come in and smoothly transition to the varsity level?
It's really tough. There's really big guys, so I just tried my best on the offensive line, and things seem to turn out.
Dion, how about you? This is kind of the midway point of the season. And you look up against Friday, you're going up against some big-time guys. I don't want to mention all the names, but people know who plays for SMB. What is it like to go up against those type of athletes?
Our defense, we're not worried about it at all. We know what they can do. Like Coach said, he's like, we don't want that stuff to get in your head. So we're just gonna go out there and we're gonna play. So we're not worried about their big-time athletes because it's just what film shows. Anybody can be good and have good film. So we're just gonna go play our hearts out.
Awesome. Well, guys, it's time for some trivia. We're gonna see who wins the battle of the trivia here. Kennedy trivia. So 3 questions that have to do with Kennedy High School, followed by a multiple choice. Anytime you think you know the answer, you don't have to wait for the multiple choice. You can buzz in by saying your name, and if you get 2 out of 3 right, you're this week's winner. So here we go. What was the land before Kennedy High School was built? So what was on that land? Was it a farm, a nature preserve, a shopping mall, or a cell phone store?
It was built in the 30s. Oh no, after the war. So
probably not a cell phone store,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So we got farm, nature preserve, shopping mall, or cell phone store. You guys can take a guess.
Farm.
Yeah,
farm is correct.
Well.
Dion is correct. You guys are competing against each other. It's not teamwork here. So Dion's got 1 answer right. 1 more to go for the win. Here's your next question. There's volcanic ash rock in the court outside of Kennedy High School, which was part of the initial build. Where did this volcanic ash come from? Was it Hawaii, the Philippines, California, or Minnesota?
Minnesota.
It was not. There's no volcanoes in Minnesota. Sorry, there's no volcanic ash in Minnesota. How about another guess? Hawaii, Philippines, or California?
I'd say Hawaii.
It is not Hawaii. That is a good guess. So here we go, Dion. This is for the win.
Philippines.
It is not Philippines. We're going to have to go to question 3 now. It was California.
What?
So here we go. How much did it cost back in 1965 to build Kennedy High School? How much do you think it cost? Was it $250,000, $4 million, $65 billion, or $1.2 trillion?
$250,000.
It was not $250,000.
Wait, what's the other option?
You got 4 million, 65 billion, or 1.2 trillion. 4 million is correct.
Yes.
Dion, there you go. You figured it out. You're this week's winner of Kennedy Trivia. Guys, great to get to know you. Best of luck on Friday. We'll see you back at home in a couple weeks, all right?
Sir.
All right, back for one final segment with assistant coach Adam Hayter on Inside Kennedy Football. Back for the final segment of Inside Kennedy Football. The Eagles take on SMB Friday night in a road test against the undefeated SMB team. Back to talk about it is assistant coach Adam Hayter. Adam, tough opponent in SMB. We know they've got some star power. They've got Division I athletes on both sides of the football. It's certainly going to be a challenge for you guys.
Yeah, for sure it will be. But, I mean, like I said before, we take the fight to everybody. And, you know, football's a team game. It's going to take all 11 guys on the field. And if we practice getting 11 guys to the ball each time, I think we'll do all right.
This is a team that knows how to win championships. They've won the state tournament with these same guys. Let's take a look at some of their highlights here. Starts with their quarterback, Jalen Suggs. He's one of the top basketball recruits in the country. Has his pick of any school, but he's pretty darn good at football here. He uses his legs for a long touchdown run. You can see terrific athlete and just making people miss. Adam, I have to imagine open field tackling is something you guys are going to be stressing this week in practice.
Yeah, for sure.
Jalen taking it all the way. This was their game last week against Providence Academy. Not the last highlight we'll see from him. He's got a pretty good receiver on the edge, Terry Lockett, who is being looked at as a Division I potential prospect, and here they connect. And with guys with speed like this, you know you can't let them get behind your defense, as you see right here.
Right.
Talk about their speed. What challenges does that present for you guys?
You know, their speed is great. It's just kind of hard focusing on trying to get to that ball. I mean, it's really going to take the defensive line to step up. I mean, if you find a weak spot in their offensive line, we're going to have to exploit it, getting after the quarterback. I mean, it's going to be hard getting him to roll out of the pocket since you saw he's such a great runner. But, I mean, we're going to have to contain. We're going to have to keep him in there and force him to make a play to somebody else other than those two guys. And that's what we're going to have to roll with.
All right, we've got another clip here. We're gonna forego the last clip of SMB. We've got a clip of you back on Inside Kennedy Football. This is our first year of our show. And what's going on with the do? You're on the right here.
Oh yeah.
Number 50. Walk us through your do back in the day.
So all of us seniors, we got together on the first day of fall camp. Practice was at 7 in the morning. And I think we all got there at 6 a.m. and we were all like, let's just mess each other up as much as we can. And so, yeah, some of us did mohawks, some of us did inverse mohawks. Some of us just shaved our heads bald. I mean, then I just decided to go with it. I was like, well, I'm not going to make the hockey tournament and dye my hair blonde. I was like, I'll dye my hair blonde for this. Why not?
And it looks like Peyton was rocking a little bit of a mohawk, too. He didn't dye it, though, apparently.
Yeah, no, he didn't dye it. He wouldn't let me do that to him, but I did give Peyton his haircut.
How long did that mohawk last? When did you?
I think I had it till one of the last weeks. My sister got married, and she's like, "You're not having that on." So, and I was in the wedding party, and she's like, "You're not having a blonde mohawk for my party." So, yeah, I had to take it off. So about second to last week of the season.
Kudos to our crew, too, for finding that clip
That's
from
awesome.
back in the day, 5 years ago, our first season of Inside Kennedy Football. You're in your first year as a coach with Kennedy as the part of the football program. What have you learned so far? We're halfway through the season. What have you learned as far as your time coaching the freshmen, spending time helping to coach the varsity too? What have you learned that you want to improve on, and maybe what surprised you in your first year of coaching?
Really, I want to get more people out for football. I mean, that's a big thing. I mean, it's going out all over the state. We need more guys out for football. And, we need that tenacity, and we need people to just realize that, football is a great game and that can prepare you, like Noah said, for real-life things. And, yeah.
All right.
As bad as I got. Yeah. Sorry.
No worries. Well, it was great to catch up with you, Adam. Thanks for returning to the show. And best of luck as the season continues, okay?
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, that's assistant coach Adam Hayter wrapping up another edition of Inside Kennedy Football. Again, the Eagles travel to take on SMB Friday night, and we'll see Kennedy back here for another episode of Inside Kennedy Football next Tuesday. For our entire crew, this is Josh Powers saying good night from our studios.